last episode we ended with me cutting out the main two pieces of the bag, which are the back and the front side, as well as the lid. Since then, I've actually played around a little bit with the size of the side pieces that need to be essentially attached or sewn together here, up to the side and up to the top. So these pieces here. And this is kind of what I came up that's different from the original design, which is essentially a piece that's 30 centimeters long, so it covers from here to here to here, as well as 5 centimeters wide, so it covers the bottom. Now you also see these flaps that are kind of on the outside of it. These are 1 centimeter deep flaps. So these, as you put the piece in there, you need essentially pieces to fold out where you're going to sew things together. So essentially the side ends up being kind of depressed in a little bit. And 1 centimeter seems to be just the right amount. The other thing to mention here is that this line right here is right at 20 centimeters. So when you were to stand this up, it kind of goes right from here to about here. So since the bag is not just one straight line, you have this bend here. The flaps on the side need to be cut so that the fold can then follow this edge and go up. So we will do that, and then there's a extra flap on top, which technically sticks out past the edge. That we're gonna see the use for in final assembly, where I'm gonna actually round that off just to create a nice edge on top. Either way, for now at this stage, I have some ideas on how to make the main straps for closing in the lid that may actually be able to do it in a way where they actually connect to the two straps on the top side that tie into the frame. But we'll get to that later. First, let's actually start cutting things out of leather. So we're going to cut out the main pieces for the body of the bag, the front, the back, the lid, as well as the side pieces. So let's check that out in the other room with the leather and the template so far. So before we continue, just to give you an idea of what things are looking like. So with the side piece, like I mentioned, this is kind of what the side of the bag would look like. We have the extra flaps that kind of get sewn on there, the bend at the 20 centimeter mark, and the piece on top that kind of sticks out. So this piece here. And then when the bag is actually fully assembled, we end up with the lid kind of folding over like so and sitting on top. So you end up with this essentially as the size of the bag. Now this is good because it actually fits the stuff that I need, which is so firstly we need to be able to fit this guy in there, which if we were to toss that in, it actually fits perfectly in there, right? That's kind of the way that I designed it. So that allows us to store the Honda manual in there. But also, even if I don't separate these tools out into like their own little things, this definitely fits in there. As you can see, it's like way smaller. But what I'll probably do is I'll open this up and see what are all the tools in there and how we can kind of create little ways for attaching them inside the bag so they don't just like bounce about and go everywhere. So either way, that's that. This is what the template is looking like. In terms of the pieces, like I said before, we have the main body, which is this piece here, like so. We have the lid and the side panels, which have these flaps. So let's use these to now take a look at the large leather hide that I have to see if we can fit enough of these pieces to make two bags. Okay, so this is a 4 to 5 ounce vegetable tan leather side cow hide. So this is the entire side of a cow, pretty much. And this is what we're going to use to make these saddlebags. So out of it, we need to make sure that this template fits on there twice. So that's great, that fits once. Things to watch out for is sometimes these hides have little imperfections and holes in them, like there's a hole right here. So we're going to try to avoid that. There's also something under here. So that's, how's that? Okay, so it fits once. The side actually fits onto here, and we're going to need 2 sides, so that's great. We can fit 2 of them. And the lid we're probably going to do on the other side so that we can actually, if let's say, so if up to here we need for this piece, then past that we need another piece. That's great. This again fits there. It also fits here. And then we're going to need 2 of these guys, which we can do one here. And if that's there, probably move it a little bit close to the edge. Another one here, and essentially we're going to have kind of that piece there left to do other projects. The straps I'm probably going to make out of a little bit thicker leather than this. I don't think this is quite thick enough to do straps from, or I might just make it out of it depending on how it goes. But either way, this seems to be good enough in terms of material to cut everything off. So now what I'm going to do is essentially start taking down this, tracing it, and starting to cut it up. So let's do that. Okay, so let's move back to the table to do this. Okay, now that we've cut off a little bit more manageable size piece, let's trace it on here. Okay. Okay, so we have one part of the bag. Essentially, it will be like this. Obviously, we need to figure out how to crease it properly and make a bag out of it. But that is our main bag body. Obviously, these edges are not perfect, but we will work on fixing those up. Let's make the 2 sides now. Alright, so this is the bag, and as we start to actually assemble it, it will take more and more shape. Obviously this is very rough, but that's kind of the size we're looking at. So let's cut out the other bag as well. So we have the 2 bags ready, and then the lids. Okay, and here are the pieces, the main pieces for the body and lid for the 2 saddlebags. We have the main bodies that will fold over in the middle like a U shape. We have the sides that get sewn into them, and we have the lids that will get sewn on the back side and then fold over to the top. So let's see, do a test assembly with some of those paper holders. Just to kind of get an idea of the overall shape. Alright, so when fully assembled, we're looking at something potentially this size. So about this deep, back side of it, with the lid. It's going to have 2 buckles here, so you can open it up, or whatever you want. Pretty wide, pretty nice for the side of the bike. It's not, it seems large, but because it's narrow, it's actually more of a messenger bags on the side than it is huge saddle bags. So I think it's gonna fit nicely, like a nice little like low profile bags on the side. The bottom right now looks rounded, but it will be flat once I actually sew things on. I might just add another piece in the middle and sew it on just to create that flat edge. But that's what the bag is looking like. So let's quickly go downstairs just to kind of see how this looks like on the bike. This will be it. Alright, so that's what the bag looks like when it's actually on the bike. It obviously looks really big right now because it's so contrasting with the rest of the bike. I will be dyeing it a dark brown, something closer to the seat color. Maybe chocolate, whatever it turns out to be. But that's actually really good, and you can see it's not adding a whole lot of bulk. I mean, there's obviously going to be another one on this side. In terms of from the top, it would sit kind of like this, so it's actually not really touching my leg either, and I'm able to ride perfectly fine. No obstruction, no nothing. So that's really good. Quite happy with that. Alright guys, that was it for this episode. We have the main body of the bags made. In the next episode, we're going to take a look at the strapping and how that's going to work out. So we're probably going to be doing some more measurements on the bike and figuring out the lengths of those, the widths of those, how the buckles are going to be. So make sure to subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications when new videos become available. Check me out on Instagram at Balkan Moto 2018. And make sure to check out balkanmoto.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.